All right, get this. Sioux Falls had a population of just 40 people back in the 1850s.
Wow. And during the Dakota War of 1862, the town became a no man's land, and it wasn't until after the conflict that the population started to grow. In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, Carly Phillips takes us through the transformation of downtown Sioux Falls from the 1800s to today.
At the end of the Civil War in 1865, the federal government established Fort Dakota in what is today's downtown Sioux Falls. It existed until 1869.
Many of these settlers who had been here in the early days couldn't come back and reestablish themselves. The military was here. But the military leaves in 1869, and many people started to come back into the community.
One of those people was Dr. Josiah Phillips and his wife Hattie.
From 6th Street to 9th Street, and then from Phillips Avenue over to Minnesota Avenue, that land was all purchased by Josiah and Hattie Phillips. It was the first plat of land in our city.
At the same time, many people were opening businesses of their own along the main road. With its upcoming popularity, Phillips decided the street needed a name.
He had the honor of naming the street after himself, and he named the street Phillips Avenue. That's where we get Phillips Avenue today.
The intersection of 9th and Phillips became the heart of downtown. Today, that intersection serves as a boundary between the north, south, east, and west sides of Sioux Falls.
When we did, as a city, begin to assign street addresses, they assigned them starting at the corner of 9th and Phillips. In many cities, of course, you start your street numbering at 1st Street, but in Sioux Falls, it starts at 9th Street.
This unique numbering system stems from a historical landmark, the Cataract Hotel. Built in 1871 by the Corson brothers, the hotel stood at the 9th and Phillips intersection, where Wells Fargo Bank is today. By the late 1880s, the Corsons had expanded the hotel several times, but in 1900, a fire destroyed the building. Because
of the significance of that Cataract Hotel fire, the city established a full-time paid fire department, and that is the beginning of Sioux Falls Fire Rescue.
The Cataract Hotel would be rebuilt and serve as a gathering point for many years, but it was ultimately torn down. The driving force behind early Sioux Falls growth shifted to something new.
The first train steamed into Sioux Falls on August 1st, 1878, and that really started a boom time in the community.
Buildings like the Minnehaha County Courthouse were constructed in the heart of downtown. To the south, residential areas were giving way to places like the Federal Building. However, the new railroad system was east of the Big Sioux River and downtown was west. Curator Kevin Gans says residents wanted a bridge rather than having to ford the river. In 1878, their wish was granted with the completion of the 8th Street Bridge, the first one in Sioux Falls.
People could now easily move between the east bank and the west bank of the river, so we start to see things pop up on the east side.
As Sioux Falls continued to grow over the next several years, parking became another problem. In 1962, the river ramp was built at the foot of 9th Street.
You literally parked your car in a parking ramp that stretched over the river. And that was considered new and innovative at the time.
Downtown was becoming a vibrant hub filled with businesses, shopping, and entertainment. This sparked Phillips Avenue's walking mall, but it wouldn't go over as well as city planners would hope.
By the time we get into 1980, downtown is really suffering. A lot of businesses have left.
City leaders decided to remove the walking mall and offer incentives to new developers. Fast forward to today, modern downtown businesses have incorporated much of Sioux Falls' history into their own buildings.
I would walk by this historic marker by the Holiday Inn and read about Josiah Phillips. And I always thought, you know, somebody ought to take a piece of history and start a restaurant or bar called Josiah's.
That vision and others would help keep the story of Sioux Falls' creation and development alive. With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Carly Phillips.
And at the end of 2024, city leaders say Sioux Falls had a population of just under 220,000.